Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. I have to say I am super excited to be casting this game today because if you haven't been seeing the news, or actually it's news from yesterday, but I had already done my uploads yesterday, so I'm doing it today. But NosLoki spawning here as the red Protoss on the right side of Shakuras Plateau is not NosLoki anymore. He is now Team Liquid, so he is now LiquidHerO, and I actually don't know a thing about this player, so I wanted to watch some of his games. I'm actually going to be doing a PvZ of his today, and I'm actually going to be doing a PvT of his tomorrow, just because I want to see what this new player is like and what kind of playstyle he goes for. So we are going to be watching a couple of games of LiquidHerO, couple games in a row. Now, spawning as his opponent in the top left corner as the blue Zerg, we have NosLoki. This is a player that is kind of an up-and-coming player. I have heard of him before. I've seen a couple of games of his before, and I think I even cast one of his games before. But should be a very good game. I am counting on it being an excellent game, and I'm kind of going to be focusing a little bit more. I'm going to be doing a little bit of emphasis on the Protoss side of things. Going to be just a little bit biased towards watching Protoss, just because, like I said, I am really interested to see what LiquidHerO is going to be doing here in these games and try to see the style of play that he goes for. And I'm just super excited to see his style of play. Another reason I'm super excited for this game is for some reason I felt like the last couple of games my casts have been kind of off. For some reason they've just felt kind of wonky. They've just kind of felt a little strange. So, I don't know, I just feel like I just got off work, and I just want to come home, I just want to cast some StarCraft games, and so I'm really, really excited to cast some StarCraft games right now. I'm hoping for a very, very good cast here. Now, looks like Hero is going to be going for a very, 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 very super fast Nexus. This is a Nexus after just a pylon. Nothing else has gone down yet. This has been a style that we've been seeing out of some Korean players now. They've been playing this way, where they don't even throw down... of course, the Forge fast expand is very common, where the Forge goes down and then the Nexus, but players have been starting to see that, especially Zerg players, since they've been going for a much more economic style against Protoss, getting up those early hatcheries. And by just getting a lot of very good scouting in early, they've learned that, you know what, you don't really need that fast cannon up quite so fast, and you can actually just get this Nexus up and then throw down the Forge, and usually if you're scouting well, you can usually still have a cannon up before your opponent gets too many forces to your front door. Again, if you're scouting, you'll know how fast their cool timing is. In this case, Hero was checking out the timing on that pool. He did actually see this hatchery go down, so he knows that there can't be too much early aggression coming on. He knows that that hatchery is most likely just for defensive purposes. Just because he has now seen that hatchery go down, it is most likely that NosLoki is going to just be droning up and using a lot of his larvae towards getting a lot of very good drones out early. And a couple of Lings now running across the map for Loki. Looks like he's going to try to sneak into the base of NosLoki, and looks like he's just going to be going for a gateway right now. He does have one cannon up, and as you can see, this cannon was still up pretty early, despite the fact that this Nexus went down first. If we check out the Harvester count right now, we can even see that because he's been using his Chrono Boosts only on his Nexus, because, well, that's the only building he had to Chrono Boost, then he's now gotten very good in the probes, and he's actually ahead in the worker count right now. 22 workers to 19 workers right now. So, Loki, he has scouted this. He does have this Overlord in position to be scouting what is going on in Hero's base, so he knows that there is just a lot of worker building going on, so he's just going to be droning up appropriately and getting a lot of drones, using this second hatchery to get a lot of juicy drones going on his side of the map, and it looks like he might even be going for a fast expansion. Hero, of course, has scouted this. Very nice probe placement here by Hero. Looks like he's got this probe for just such an occasion. I mean, this is such solid, well thought out play by Hero. If you think about it, if you are throwing down this fast Nexus, you want to assume that your opponent is going to scout it right away. You want to assume that very fast your opponent is going to be scouting this Nexus, just because that's the worst case scenario. You want to be able to handle the situation for which your opponent knows you're fast expanding, knows you went Nexus and then Forge, and you want to think about what is your opponent going to try to do to counter this. And of course, one of the most obvious possibilities for any average macro-style Zerg is going to be, if you see that quick expansion go down, you want to stay one base ahead, throw down a quick hatchery, get a quick third, so that you know, so that you have that strong 3 base against 2 base econ. And so Hero, knowing that this is a possible scenario, has just placed a probe on the map, has placed one up on the high ground so he can know exactly when this expansion has gone down. And as we can see now, Hero does know about this expansion. So, very, very smart play there for Hero. Now we can see that a Stargate has just come up for Hero. Looks like he's now throwing down a couple of gateways behind that, and looks like he's going to be trying to deny this third. Let's see if I can follow this line all the way. Yeah, if we go check this line all the way down, look at that. He's going to be sending a Void Ray straight to that third base of Loki, and Loki has actually scouted this. One Overlord is now out on the map, and has now scouted all of the gateways that have been produced for Hero, as well as the Stargate. So I'm actually going to be interested to see what is going to be happening to this Stargate throughout the game. This is going to be something that is always of interest to me in those Protoss versus Zerg games, just because there are lots of different styles of play with that Stargate. There are the Stargates that people get because they want to constantly be producing units out of them and try to get a lot of air units out and seize a lot of early air control, but there's also those styles of play where they'll just get one Void Ray and maybe just 2 or 3 Phoenixes, or maybe sometimes even just 1 Phoenix, and throw that up to get a lot of early map control while they macro up with a large gateway force. So I'm guessing just because he did throw down these additional gateways, he probably is going to be going for that style of play where he's going to be getting just using those air units just to hold a little bit of air control and pin his opponent back onto his base while he gets his gateway count up. But it looks like this Void Ray is now moving around the map. He did have a few Zealots here in the third of Loki, but it looks like they are going to be taking out a lot of Zerglings here were produced for Loki, and here comes the Void Ray. The Void Ray is now moving in. Loki does know about this. He has thrown down a Spore Crawler. He's going to have to try to deny that for as long as possible with the Queen, but the Phoenix has now arrived. It is going to be able to pick up that Queen, which it is not doing. Looks like he's just going to take some shield damage here. In the meantime, he's going to be going for a counterattack. Zergling's now moving across the map, and we haven't actually checked out the tech of Loki in a while. I promise I will do that very, very soon. But the Spore Crawler is up, and oh my goodness, 2 Queens come from the back and take out the Void Ray. Nice little pick off there by Loki. Looks like the best he's going to be able to do is harass a little bit with this Phoenix. Another Phoenix has just now arrived, and checking on the production tab, yes, we do have more Phoenixes coming out. A third Phoenix now on the map, and one more coming out actually to move across the map right now. Excellent Zergling placement here by Loki. Loki is getting ready to scout his opponent's third if a third does go down. Spore Crawler going down the natural and in the... no, not in the main yet for Loki, but he is throwing down a Hydralisk Den. We can see he is on 1 Evolution Chamber right now, has no upgrades yet, strictly got that for those Spore Crawlers. And he is just now throwing down a Hydralisk Den. This is no doubt to counter all these air units that he is seeing being produced by OGS Hero. Hero now doing a good job of harassing all these Overlords, taking out a lot of Overlords, getting a lot of early kills, and he has well supply blocked Loki. Loki is now supply blocked 83 to 70 food. So looks like Hero's in a pretty good spot right now. He's in a good spot where he can macro up quite a bit of an army. Throwing down his third. As a Zerg player, I always forget that this third base is here. As a Zerg, this is always like our 4th or 5th base. We always get this as a later base because we want to be taking these far away expansions, and I always forget that as a Protoss or a Terran player, you want to be expanding towards your opponent because you have armies that are strong when they are clumped together. That means that you want to be taking bases closer to your opponent as opposed to farther away as a Zerg player. As you can see, Loki has thrown down his third here. So a lot of air control right now for Hero. Hero just moving across the map with a lot of Phoenixes. Has he stopped Phoenix production? Yes, he has now stopped Phoenix production, so he is now going to be using these Phoenixes just to try to do some harass, try to keep his opponent back in his base, trying to keep him from moving out too much. Looks like he's picking off a few Overlords. Looks like he's going to pick off a Queen here. And yes, he did manage to pick up that Queen kill. No Roach Warren, actually, I don't think, down for Loki yet, unless I missed it. Yeah, there it is. There's a Roach Warren. I thought if he's got a Hydralisk Den up, you want to have those Roaches up to try to tank some of that damage for those Hydralisks, because those Hydralisks are just oh so good for DPS. Well-placed Hydralisk here by Loki. Might actually get a Phoenix kill. Yes, they do manage to pick off one of those Phoenixes. Probe now moving across the map. Looks like he's going to be trying to place some kind of a forward pylon here. He is going to be trying to hold these El Naga watchtowers. I like this style of play. Nice pick up there by Hero. Manages to save his own probe. Very often people forget that you can pick up your own units with those Phoenixes. Quick little tip there for you guys that like to go for that Phoenix style of play. Hydralisk's now dominating the center of the map, trying to hold a little bit of map control here in the middle of the map with these Hydralisks, but a lot of gateway units now coming down for OGS-HERO. Those Zealots do have their charge ability. They are on +1 attack right now, +2 currently being researched. While Hero macros up this this third base, gets a lot of probes here, getting a good probe count here. Nice Overlord Scout there by Loki, very well timed. Looks like he's going to get there just as Hero was deciding to throw down these extra gateways, but I don't think he's going to be able to see it, though he did see this Chrono Boost going down on that Templar Archives. That is going to be very telling, as there is really only one upgrade you can get on that upgrade. He's going to know that Psionic Storm is incoming, and that this means Templar, this means possibly Archons later. But it looks like at the moment, Loki's going to be content to macro up a lot more of these Zerglings. Has a few Infestors now out onto the field. Looks like we have 5 Infestors currently out on the field, and looks like he's going to be going for an Infestor Ling Hydra style of play. Just now starting to get a few Roaches coming onto the field. I'll be interested to see if he does get some more Roaches. He is just now getting that Glial Reconstitution. That is Roach Speed, as well as his +1 melee attack upgrade. So this means that he's going to be relying on those Zerglings to deal a lot of the damage. And these Phoenixes still just continuing to move around the map, being very aggressive with these Phoenixes, which of course I like. Always good to be very active with these Phoenixes, keeping them moving around the map, trying to do a lot of damage. But looks like Loki has finally decided to move out. Looks like he's finally reached the army composition that he wants. I'm actually okay with the fact that he doesn't have that many Roaches. He's going to most likely be placing these Roaches at the front of his army to try to take as much damage, but he's going to deny damage from being dealt to his Hydralisks by pinning units with these Infestors and their fungal growths. That's going to hold those Zealots in place, pin them in place, while these Hydralisks are allowed to deal a lot of damage. But for what units do escape those fungal growths, he will have these Roaches at the front of the map, and actually getting quite a few Roaches up now to tank that damage, so that these Hydralisks, this small pack of Hydralisks, can deal a lot of damage. Looks like he's going to be moving into the natural here. He's going past the third. Hero, though, moving in from the back, getting a lot of very nice, oh god, I can't even remember the name of it. Feedback, that's the name of that spell. A lot of good feedbacks going down there on the Infestors. All the Infestors losing all their energy, all the Infestors going down, but this is so many Roaches, so many Hydralisks. Hero looks like he's just going to push into this, try to deal as much damage as he can. He's got an Archon here at the front, taking a lot of damage for these Stalkers. Guardian Shields going up for his sentries, and it looks like he might just barely be able to hold this off. And yes, indeed, it looks like these Stalkers are in a good position. They are at their currently 2-0 upgrades, 2-0-0 upgrades, I should say, as those Protoss ground units have 3 different types of upgrades available to them. But no, Loki being very annoying with this Overlord creeping up that 4th base for OGS-HERO. Looks like Loki's going to continue to be aggressive here. He is now sitting on 4 base, just now getting those 2 gases at his 4 base, and it looks like he's going to try to be aggressive, poke in with these Roaches, try to see if he can deny this 3rd. But so many gateways up right now for Hero. Looks like we've got a total of 9 gateways currently up. Looks like he's going to be warping in a lot of Stalkers. This is to counter this heavy Roach army that he is currently seeing from Loki. Still continuing to be very active with these Phoenixes. I love this, absolutely love this from Hero.